All right, Shauna. So today we're going to talk about 10 tips introverts can use to succeed at work. And this is my topic that I picked since I'm an introvert, you're an extrovert. So maybe you'll have some different insights as we go through them. So, first tip for introverts to succeed at work is to redefine what visibility means, right? Does it mean you need to be the loudest person in the room, or does it mean that you always come prepared and you deliver your best work when you decide to speak in front of someone? Um, I think visibility can be different for everyone, right? For me, when I was starting in an office, my first job out of college, trying to figure out how to be or work around being an introvert and still be seen, it was start a conversation with three new people every day. Just speak, just open up. It was baby steps like that. So
Yeah, I mean,
what
I can see that. I can see that, but I think too that everybody has a place in a business, right? In an organization. So you don't have to be an extrovert or introvert. Like everybody has space. There's a room for everybody. And your skill set, your personality type, your way of thinking, your way of doing might be different from somebody who's an extrovert, but then we all fuse together to kind of like make things happen, right? I mean, imagine being in a room with a bunch of extroverts. I would lose my mind as an extrovert being in a room with just a whole bunch of people like me. Like, I would pull my hair out because everybody will be trying to steal the show. Everybody would be talking at once. Everybody would be on up on 10 at all times. So you don't want that. And on the flip side, you don't want to be in a room with all introverts because everybody be silently staring at each other. Nobody has anything to say. You're looking at me, looking at you, look at me. Doesn't make sense. So I feel like everybody has a place, regardless of where you are on the spectrum.
That's a good point. Remember that whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, everyone has a place.
Yeah.
Okay, so tip number two, prepare before you speak. And I kind of touched on this before. For me, it always makes me feel better when I have even like a script to introduce myself makes me feel better because I always like whenever I'm in a meeting, they always go, "Oh, everyone, introduce yourselves." And that's the part I hate the most. Like don't go around the room and make everyone introduce themselves. I don't want to do it. But yeah, create the script and maybe it'll help you sweat a little less.
I agree with that. I mean, personally, don't mind introducing myself. Again, I'm an extrovert, so it doesn't bother me. I like when people introduce themselves because I'm always listening out for hearing the cool things about people, whether it's personality wise or things they've done, things they've accomplished, or what they're working on. So I'm like, oh, I have something in common with that person, and then I might gravitate towards talking to that person. But I'm always interested in learning about what everybody has going on. I might, as much as I'm an extrovert, I like boring stuff too. Like I like walking in the park. I like going to the forest preserve and just looking at deers, sitting down and just watching the deers jump around. Somebody who's an extrovert would be like, oh, that's boring. But I like that kind of stuff too. So if I come across somebody who's an introvert who likes that kind of stuff, there goes that marriage in heaven. When you get to that point where you have to introduce yourself, always don't think about it like it's just you. Think about what you can learn from other people, how you can meet friends. That's a different way of looking at it. Don't feel scared that, oh God, people are gonna look at me. It's like, oh, who can I make friends with here today? That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, you put it on them like, I want to learn about other people and I'm reciprocating so that they can learn about me as well.
Yeah.
Great. So the next tip is to use writing as your power tool.
Yeah.
So it it says examples, document ideas, share summaries, clarify decisions, written communication can scale your voice. So this is, slash. So I guess shoot. Okay. So tip number 3 is to use writing as your power tool. And so if you are getting a bunch of slacks from from a colleague, they're probably an introvert, right? So you can use it to document ideas, share summaries, clarify decisions. Um, just use it to kind of scale your voice, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I feel like that for people who are introverted and they're not very good at, expressing how they feel verbally, putting it in writing is always a good thing. It helps get things off your chest, helps clear your mind, and it helps for you to write it and then to go read it over to make sure that you're actually really putting out what you really want to say. Because, when you talk, it just comes out and you can't take it back. Sometimes you can't even add extra things. But then when you write it, you have that opportunity to say, I don't like how that sound. You can go back and rewrite it or add things or remove things. So I like that.
Because do you, like, as an extrovert, do you feel like you need to think through things before you say
No,
them, or is that an introvert thing?
no.
No? Okay.
My mouth works faster than my brain. It
That's
come out
funny.
and then I'll be
Okay.
like, oh wait, yeah, backtrack. That's kind of not what I meant.
That's so wow. Okay, that's hilarious because as an introvert, I'm like, okay, I would prefer a text. 100%. Always text me, don't call me. All the time. Yeah. That
And
explains
I
a
hate
lot.
text
Wow.
messages. I find it so annoying. Like, just phone and call me. And don't be long-winded. Like, don't be long-winded. Just get to the point. Hey, I'm not the kind of person that like pleasantries. You call me, you email me, you text me. I don't care. Hey, how was your weekend? How was Johnny? How was the dog? How was the cat? Where did you go? I don't care about all of that. Just get to the point. Hey, do you get the paper done? Sure. Okay, bye. Done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you're gonna call me, that's definitely how I want it, but just text me instead. That is
Yeah,
hila
but
see,
I
it's
don't
so
need to
interesting.
read a dissertation on you asking me something simple in a text message. Just get to the point. You're not going to offend me if you don't say, hey, good morning, happy holidays. Like, you're not going to offend me. Just say, hey, I want this. And I'm done because I can't read long. I zone out.
Same. Yeah, you're not gonna offend me, but I have offended other people before by not being or people are like, "Oh, hello, good morning." Like, they say it all obnoxiously if you don't say it. Anyways.
Yeah, those people drive me crazy.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so the next tip is to set boundaries around your
Hmm.
energy.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and not time, right? It's not about being antisocial, it's about protecting your energy. So block your focus time, say no to unnecessary meetings, or what a lot of people do is you demand an agenda in order to attend a meeting. So you know that you're not going to waste your time in it,
Right.
right?
Right.
And take breaks before burnout hits. So I feel like most of us have experienced burnout at some point, and we can kind of identify when we're starting to get there, how that feels, right? And if you keep pushing and keep pushing, then you're going to hit that burnout point and you're going to have no choice. So just take a break when you're starting to get there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Nobody wants to be in a back-to-back meetings all day. How do you get anything done anyway if you're constantly in meetings? It's like we need a meeting for the meeting. It's like we need a meeting to discuss what we're going to meet about when we next meet. Ridiculous. Get going back to emails and texts, they're very effective. Use them. Everything doesn't have to be a meeting. I mean, people have to, there's only so many hours, work hours in the day. And so you want to utilize your hours as effectively, as efficiently as possible. So get rid of the back-to-back meetings, the constant interruptions. Just some things you can just really pick up the phone and call and get an answer. We don't need to have a 30-minute meeting for you to ask me if the sky is blue. Like, I could just tell you that.
That's true. And let me ask you, do you hate meetings as much as I do
Oh
as an
God, the
extrovert?
bane of my existence is a meeting. Put a meeting on
Uh,
my calendar and I die. Like,
okay.
it is
So
so
so that's
disruptive.
So that's something both introverts and extroverts have in common. We all hate meetings. So stop with
But it's so
stop with
funny.
so
When
many
I used
meetings.
to work in corporate, and as an employee, I used to hate meetings. I felt like as soon as 8 o'clock come, there's a company-wide meeting at 8 o'clock. So you have to be there at 8 o'clock for like an hour and a half. So then there goes till like 9:30 before you actually sit at your desk to get anything done. And then not to mention your department meeting. So there's that. Then your bosses, they come to you for another meeting. Like, I used to dread meetings. At one point, I kind of told another superior, like, I'm tired of meetings. Like, this manager is so long-winded. I can't stand these one-on-ones. It it takes forever for you to get to the point of what you're trying to say. I mean, going back to my point of get to the point, I don't need meetings. You could just ask me. It's just that simple. Just ask me what you want or just check in. Hey, how everything is going? Do you need help? No? Okay, thank you. Bye. I don't need a 30-minute, an hour meeting for you to ask me how my weekend was and how I'm feeling. This is not a therapy session. I'm at work. So, yes, I hate meetings. Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah, and I feel like so I have a particular job in my mind too, where it was every day, all day, back to back meetings. And it was like because my manager didn't really know how to do their job or what they were doing. They weren't organized and they couldn't figure things out. And they were just trying to get, I don't know. They were really about looking like we were busy all the time
Hmm.
with meetings, and
Yeah.
then we wouldn't be able to get work done and things like
Think
that.
that's
So,
why a lot of supervisors, managers have meetings, have these one-on-ones that they call them, not because they really care about you. It's more like let because I don't have a lot of work doing as a manager. I manage my staff to make sure that they're doing the work. And so my job is to really just do that, to manage them, to make sure they're doing the work. And the only way I'm going to do that is to constantly check in, constantly check in. It's like micromanaging in the name of one and one. It's annoying. And so I feel like if you are an employee and you're facing like that constant disruption, that constant back to back meetings and those one on ones, I feel like you should just speak up and just say, hey, can we skip this week? Or if I need, I've told the manager before, like that constantly every day, do you need anything? No. And I put my foot down at one point and I said, listen, if I need something, I will surely ask. Do not think that I won't ask. I will ask. And I guess because I wasn't one of those employees who were constantly going to the manager, asking questions constantly. So it felt like to her that I wasn't doing my job or I wasn't competent because I wasn't asking questions. It was quite the opposite. I want to be left alone to do what you paid me to do. And if I need your help, I know exactly where to find you. Exactly where to find you. So we don't need one on one. So I feel like as an employee, if you're facing that, talk to the manager. Tell them, you know what, respectfully, if I need help, I will find you, but I don't need anything at this moment. And maybe they'll back up, they'll back off.
that's exactly how you set boundaries at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be afraid to do that.
Speak up.
The next speak up, yes. The next tip is to choose depth over breadth in relationships.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
What do
this is
you mean?
so one strong relationship with a manager or stakeholder can matter more than 20 casual ones with maybe people in different departments. I guess this is where like I've always seen certain people, right? They choose their relationships strategically, like where it matters in their work, the relationships that are going to help them progress. I've never really been like that. It's never been like an automatic thing for me. I always just become friends with whoever I feel like I like. But I guess the tip here is to actually don't just be friends with everyone, be strategic, which
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can see that.
I Yeah,
Yeah, because not everybody's gonna take you where you need to go. And some
that's
people
true.
you're gonna leave them behind, and some people are gonna leave you behind. So yeah, you gotta be strategic with the company you keep. So
That's very true. You don't ever wanna be the smartest person in the room or you're in the wrong room, right?
I don't
You
like-
ever heard that before?
yes. You're just hanging around a bunch of dumb bag of rocks. Like who want that?
Yeah. Okay. So the next tip number 6 is don't confuse quiet with invisibility. That one's pretty simple, silence doesn't equal disengagement and calm doesn't equal lack of ambition, right? So you can be quiet and you can still be noticed.
Yeah. And sometimes, the quiet people, not all the times, but most of the times are usually the most successful people because they tend to be a little bit more introverted, reserved. And so I feel like they put all their time and their energy into their skills, into their craft because, well, that's their outlet. And so they tend to accomplish more, I think, most of the time, those introverted people. Um, you're back in high school, you have those loud jocks and those crazy people who are always just like so popular, and then you have the AKA the nerds, and then you 20 years later, who's running the corporations, right? The nerds. And then the
Yeah,
other
that's
ones, they're
true.
God knows where they are, somewhere. So it's not
That's a
a
good
bad thing
point.
to be an introvert.
Yeah. And the next tip number 7, advocate for yourself. So, sometimes it can feel like bragging or narcissism, but
Yeah.
you don't have to brag to self-advocate, right? You can do it calmly but forcefully. State facts, share outcomes, ask directly for what you want. And that also kind of ties into setting boundaries as well, being able to be direct and not being afraid to use your voice to say what you need.
Yeah, I think that is true, and I do think that a lot of people, they're not comfortable with asking for what they want. Um, they're not comfortable with speaking up because it could signify that, they're being insubordinate, or, it just they think it may come across wrong to someone else, so they tend to just sit in the background and to just take anything that's given to them, any, whether it's work or attitude, behavior, treatment. But you never want to do that, because that puts a lot of stress and strain on you personally. So, always speak up. What's the worst can happen? It's not like you're at work and you speak up, advocate for yourself, and your boss is going to be like, oh yeah, let me grab my belt so I can turn around and, spank your butt because you're being so insubordinate. That's not going to happen. I mean, what's the worst they can do is like fire you. And then what? You find a different job because maybe that place was not meant for you to begin with. And I always wonder why people cry and they die when they lose a job, and it's like, oh, my world's done. No, that just opened the door for you to go on to do something else. It could be something else for yourself, starting a business. It could be finding a different career, switching careers. You never know what the future holds. So I'm never one to shy away from changes, because you just never know what's on the other side of the door. Sometimes it's a chance, and life gives you chances, risk, all of that. You just have to roll with the punches and learn from them and keep going.
Yeah, completely agree. One door closed, another door opens.
Yeah.
Change is exciting. It's fun, but it
I
is
love
scary.
change.
So I understand. Yeah, I've always loved change. Like I get bored with the same thing for too
Yeah.
long, but
Yeah.
not everyone's that way.
Ah.
So I actually thought of, because again, I was an introvert, especially early on in my career, and I thought of a time I didn't stand up for myself. And so these times they like add up and they stay with you. But when I was younger, I think I was like, it was actually my birthday. I was like turning 23 or something. And one of the other people at work, their birthday was like the day before me, but it was actually the 19th, which was my birthday, actually December 19th. And then we had a company meeting on the 19th, and everyone sang happy birthday to them. And I just didn't say anything.
Aw.
And then I mentioned it to a coworker afterwards, and he's like, "Sometimes you gotta stand up for yourself." And I'm like, "Oh, so I should have said something." And that didn't even really, like, cross my mind, but, yeah, sometimes it takes time to learn, like, when you should really stand up for yourself, but
Yeah.
that was probably one of the times.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that being an introvert you can't speak up. You have to share how you feel, because people will tend to ignore you naturally because you're an introvert, you don't speak up. And they're not doing it intentionally by ignoring you. It's just that they overlook you because you're not the vocal type. You're not the type that's always out there that they see all the time. So you have to sort of kind of let people notice you by speaking up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That's how I learned that lesson and got better over time. So the next tip number 8, is to design your workday around focus. And so as an introvert, I need time to like focus and not have all these distractions to do like deep thinking work. But I don't know if that's an introvert thing. That might be an everyone thing.
That's an
Um,
everyone thing, because
yeah.
I will block my calendar every Monday, you cannot book any time on my calendar every Monday because that's just my time to get caught up on the emails over the weekend, to just kind of like get in the frame of mind to take on the rest of the week, And there are times when I'll block the whole week, and I mean, like the whole week I will block. Nobody can book any time, only if certain clients call, because they're my special clients. And I don't mean that the rest aren't special. It means that these people, they're like me. They like to go in and get out. They're not going to take up 3 hours of my time asking me why they're 2 cents off of something. They really value the advice they get and my time. And so they'll come in and come out. So they'll call me, be like, oh, I need 10 minutes of your time. And I know they actually mean 10 minutes, not 10 minutes to 2 hours. And so for them, I'll be like, okay, let me just squeeze you in on my calendar and I'll give it to them. But I usually block, because if you don't do that, you will just spend your whole time just being distracted, doing this, doing that. Even if you're in a corporate environment right now and you are on the clock, you're on a job, you have to put on your calendar, block some time to just say, okay, between X and X time, I will be doing work, so that your coworkers don't just put stuff on your calendar. Because people tend to do that, especially when it's in a corporation where you have access to other people's calendars. They just put something on there and then you're like, wait, I was gonna go to lunch. No, I can't go because now I have this 4 hour meeting.
Yeah. So it's funny, I actually saw a thread recently about this, and some people had some interesting ideas. Like, this one woman said that she and her manager have a meeting on the calendar with each other for their lunch break, so people can't book over their lunch break. So maybe
Yeah.
if it's difficult, if people aren't respecting your blocked time, be strategic about it.
Oh yeah.
Figure
And
it
no
out.
means no. And no means no. Don't be afraid to hit the decline button.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
That's
Decline.
there for a reason.
Yep. You don't have to take every single meeting, and that was my point.
That is something it took me a while to figure out. Like, you do have the power to decline meetings. You're not going to lose your job because you're not at every single meeting, but you have to be able to figure out like which ones
Yeah.
are urgent and you should be at as well.
Right.
O- Okay, tip number 9. Stop.
Hmm.
Oh, this is a good one. Okay, this one is very relatable to me. Stop trying to act extroverted
Yeah.
as an
Yeah.
introvert. Okay, you're an introvert. Stop trying to act extroverted.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. I did this for years. Like, I would fake it so much, and it was exhausting, but there would be certain events, like networking events especially, where I'm like, okay, I have to go pretend like I'm this huge extrovert because for some reason, and being in marketing especially, it was like you had to be an extrovert to be in marketing or to look like you're good at it. So, yeah, I faked it for a long time. Now I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, you know what? You can't fake it for too long because authenticity builds trust faster than performance. So you can't really just, oh, let me just fake it. Let me just be loud. Let me just be crazy. Let me just run around and just try to introduce myself to every single person in the room just to pick up bodies. I'm just trying to check off as I go along. People will look at that and be like, oh, it's exhausted. And people would want to just be like, oh, here she comes again. And they'll try to avoid you. So be authentic, be you, just be yourself. People like real. And in this time where AI is taking everything over, I'm sure people would welcome the opportunity to talk to somebody who's just real and genuine, just honest.
Yeah. Don't instead of trying to be extroverted, just lean into who you really are and being genuine.
Yeah. Own that. Own who you are.
Own it.
That's
Yeah.
very
Own it.
attractive.
And our final tip is to choose environments that respect how you work
Ah,
as
wow.
an
That's
introvert.
going to hit some nails on the head.
Yeah, that's tough because my entire career doesn't is in marketing.
Yeah.
So, um
So I
Not every
think too.
workplace is built for introverts.
Yeah, and I think too, if you feel like you're constantly drained or interrupted or pressured into being somebody you're not, because you go into the office and you feel like, oh, everybody is so extroverted, everybody's on 10 all the time, everybody knows everybody, it's very clicky. You're gonna feel pressured to be like them, right? And so you don't want to do that. It might not be you per se, it might just be the environment you work in. So maybe move away from that and just find a workplace, maybe a lot of remote work is around now, just find something that values who you are and how you work and respect how you work. Yeah, because not everybody wants somebody to be standing at their desk over their shoulder every day just talking and just kind of like, you know on you. Some people just like space to think and to process, to kind of like be zen and be in the mood, and so I feel like, yeah, if you are somewhere where you just feel out of place, you're probably out of place.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
like that you said remote work because remote work is really good for introverts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But at
Well,
the
it's good
same
for
time,
everyone, but especially introverts.
right. But at the same time, while remote work is good, it kind of like for people who are introverted, they're introverted, but they're not autistic, but they kind of have that thing where they too much sensory is just like, okay, I can't concentrate, leave me alone. I feel like remote work is good for them, but at the same time, you don't want to just be buried in your little space all the time. You kind of sort of need to get out, maybe just go for a walk, go have a coffee, work from the coffee shop one day just to kind of like have that people to people interaction. Cause that
That's
is
a
good too.
Yeah. That's a really good point because when you work remotely, you are responsible for your own socialization and you
Mhm.
have to get out there and you have to socialize.
Yeah.
Yeah, for your mental health. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah. That is the big thing. For me, working remotely, I've always I don't like to, like, live alone. I like to live with different family members at different times. I move around a lot, but, always, like, just being around people is good, and when I'm living alone or staying somewhere by myself, it's really easy for me to fall into this habit of, like, not going out, and then I have to force myself to get out, so, yeah. Meetup.com is a great resource for that.
Mhm.
Bumble, you can switch it to Bumble BFF to find people wherever you are if you travel a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, we went over time a bit on this one, but those are 10 tips that we think can help introverts succeed at work. Would love to know if any of these tips resonate with you, if you tried any of them and how they worked out for you. But until next time, hit like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye guys.
Thanks, guys.